Special counsel David Weiss, who's been leading the investigation into Hunter Biden since 2018, is going to take questions from the House Judiciary Committee today.
And a spokesperson for Weiss says he is prepared to take the unprecedented step of testifying before the conclusion of his investigation to make clear that he's had and continues to have full authority over his investigation and to bring charges in any jurisdiction. That was wordy. OutKick host Tomi Lahren joins us now. Tomi, good morning to you. How do you think this hearing is going to go later today?
Well, I'll tell you this, I am happy to see Republicans getting back to work. They've got a lot to prove to the country, to the Republican Party, to the American voters, getting back to work on this investigation and more after, weeks-long circus with the speakership and worrying about all that. So I'm happy to see them getting back down to business, getting back into the Hunter Biden and the Joe Biden issues investigation, showing the American people some transparency, some truth and honesty. But honestly, I do think the way that the media covers this is going to be the most interesting part of the whole thing, and I'll tell you why. I think if the media at large, the mainstream media, the more left-leaning media covers this more heavily, they're more interested in the investigations into Hunter and Joe, I think that signals their readiness to get rid of Joe Biden. I think that for a long time they've been coddling and covering for Joe and Hunter through the investigation process, but if they cover this testimony more, if they lean into this more, I think that's a great indication that they're getting ready to push Joe by the wayside, and they just need more reasons to explain why they want to do that. So I think that is the more interesting part of this whole puzzle.
It's a really excellent point. And to Carly's point about that being a wordy statement, the spokesperson's name is Win Hornbuckle. So when you have a name like Win Hornbuckle, you can make statements like that. Happy birthday. Ivanka Trump set to testify tomorrow after Donald Trump took the stand yesterday. This was heated, to say the least. At one point, the judge turned to Trump's attorney and said, I beseech you to control him if you can. If you can't, I will. Trump making a gesture as if he was zipping his lip when he was walking out of the courtroom during the recess, following the exchange with the judge. And then he said this following court. Listen.
If you were there and you listened and you see what a scam this is a case that should have never been brought. It's a case that should be dismissed immediately. People are sick and tired of what's happening. This is I think it's a very sad day for America.
I mean, Tomi, feel free to react to what you saw and heard there, but I think the bigger question is, will Trump's testimony and what we saw coming out of that courtroom yesterday cause an even bigger jump in Donald Trump's poll numbers?
So Donald Trump is obviously ensnared in a lot of legal issues, so he's going to have to use these cases, these investigations, these trials. This is just the first of many. He's going to have to use these as campaign events. He has no other choice. This is what the Democrats have put him in the position to do, and that's why you're seeing him act as though these courtroom appearances and this testimony is, in some way, shape, or form, some kind of an election appearance, because this is going to be his life for the next couple of years, and certainly leading up to the next election. So he's got to do that. As far as Ivanka Trump, now listen, she's tried to distance herself from all of this. She wants to lead a more quiet life. So she could be kind of a stabilizing factor here. I think she's well liked. I think that she's very composed, but it just depends on what she says and how much she supports her father at this point. I think all eyes are going to be on that. They've often tried to weaponize Ivanka Trump against her father. So all of this seems like daytime soap operas playing out. Unfortunately, this is the politics of our life right now. And I wish it was the Kardashians or a soap opera, but this is what we got.
It is reality. Also, reality is the fact that there was this poll that came out that shows that Trump is beating Biden in 5 of the 6 swing states. So he said it was a bad day in court. Good day for him when it comes to polling. What was your takeaway in that poll?
Yeah, so obviously the Democrats are very nervous, and that's why they want Trump to be the nominee, because they think that he is probably easier to beat than anybody else. But when you dig into those polls, here's the part that I find concerning. If you do have a conviction for Trump, that changes those margins by quite a bit. So the Democrats know what they're doing. They're very strategic. I still say, though, Joe's not going to be their nominee. They don't have a lot of time to get that done, but wait and watch. I think that the wheels are in motion on that front.
I think that's a great point as well. 2 other things I'd like to mention. One, I think you're right. Trump knows he's going to loses. He is going to lose this case, but he's using it as a campaign avenue. And also, you know what else he's doing? He is making this judge say really dumb things for being overturned on appeal. So pay attention to that. Tomi, we appreciate you as always.
Always.
And
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.